So the other day, Lennox asked us to purchase him WarHeads Sour Spray, which is
Sounds like a weapon.
It's a WMD. It's everyone knows WarHeads, a super sour candy.
Oh yeah.
Mostly found at Dollar Tree. And he got a taste of it at school. Dominic, I believe, has some, and you spray it in your mouth like chloroseptic, and he came home and he wouldn't stop bugging. I've never seen someone so possessed by it. Can you buy it? Buy it for me. Have you bought it for me yet? It's so good. It's so good. This went on for hours and hours.
He was
hours.
Crazed.
I've never seen someone so addicted. It was like the Dave Chappelle crack addict character, scratching himself, chapped lips, but it was very odd. Like if he wants something, he'll be like, I want Nutty Buddy. Did you get it? No. Oh, okay. And he'll be bummed out for about 5 seconds. But this WarHeads Sour Spray got a hold of his soul, and he turned into Frankie with wet food.
Yeah.
He turned into a sociopath. So, I kept saying no, and he said, "Why not?" And I said, "Well, if they had it at a grocery store nearby, like one bottle, then I would buy it." And of course, but the only options were on Amazon, where you buy 12 bottles for $21.
Oh, you gotta buy it in bulk.
Yeah. And so I said, if it was at our local grocery store, buy one bottle, then we could control it. And there's about 100 sprays in each little bottle. But I'm not going to buy a 12 pack of this WarHeads Sour Spray crap. And then overnight, I was like, okay, I'll buy it. Who cares? It's $21. We got our Joe Biden tax money. But the second I bought it, I bought the 12 pack from Amazon, I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. Because it's really hard to regulate a spray.
Right. And I don't know what a serving size is really.
There is not, or there's zero information,
Yeah.
of serving size or calories or sugar. I mean, it's all sugar.
It's all sugar and chemicals.
And chemicals and GMO. But I was like, this is going to be bad because it's something he could do in the middle of the night, spray. And it's not like a Nutty Buddy or a couple cookies where you got to sit down and you eat it on the counter. It takes time. You just and
get your fix, and then you're on your way.
Yeah, and so I was filled with regret. But we got them, and I mean they're really sour. There's blue, pink, and green flavors / colors, and I tried them all, and I was like, okay. I mean, they're really sour. The end. I don't know why it's so appealing to him.
There's nothing enjoyable about it. To me.
Right. Exactly. It's very off-putting. You're like, wow, that's really sour. I don't need any more of that. But he's like a nut job when it comes to stuff. So I gave him 3. Initially the deal was you get a haircut in June because it gets super hot, summer, Sacramento, and Lennox hates haircuts. What's up with 11-year-old boys? They love shorts and they hate haircuts and they love hoodies.
And they hate showers.
They hate shower. That was uncalled for. But I said, so please, like, let me get you a haircut. Or I'll take you to Great Clips and I'll tell him exactly what I want done to your hair. Because he's in the loft now. And the loft gets so freaking hot during the summer. It's super hot in Sac. And then the loft gets hotter. So I was like, just for my peace of mind, for your comfort in life, I will take you to Great Clips in June to get you a haircut. Of whatever I deem suitable, a haircut. I'm gonna buzz it everywhere. He's gonna look like he joined the military. Yeah, he's enlisting in basic training. He eventually agreed to that. It was back and forth. It was like
you were holding the sour spray over his head.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Tough negotiations.
Yeah, it was like Ukraine and Russia at the table. But yeah, it's we got him, and are you monitoring? I mean, I just saw him. I just saw him spray each of them in his mouth at once. One at a time. I'm sorry, one at a time. But he was like, "I'm gonna rate these," and he gave the green a 10 and the blue a 7. And he's not a fan of the red. But is he spritzing 4 times a day, 40 times a day?
I don't know how many times, but each time he does it, it's like
yeah,
it's like a ton.
Yeah. He can't do just one.
Oh no, you can't do just one.
You can't eat just one. Is that Pringles or
Yes.
Lay's? Okay. But yeah, so this is happening, and the other thing is I have 9 more freaking bottles of this crap.
He doesn't know, by the way. He thinks you only showed him the 3.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna because he claims he can sell these bottles at the school, so I'm gonna head over to the bus stop. Be like, yo, man, you need the good stuff. I got the hookup. But this spray made me think of Banaka. Which is a mouth spray from when we were kids.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, I totally remember that from back in the day.
Yeah.
Not an breath freshener.
Aerosol.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like the size of lipstick or mascara, small, and that was all the rage when I was in whatever I was, 4th grade, 5th grade, I think. And we would spray it, and a bottle would last a couple hours.
What? Why were you guys using so much?
Why? Because we're idiots. We were kids. And at one point, we were shooting it up our nose because it, quote unquote, got you high. And we were talking about this, and I found articles from 1988 say, it's the latest craze, and it's very scary, and kids these days, and
it was the fentanyl of the day.
Fentanyl, yeah, and like Walgreens pharmacists were taking it off the shelves and
locking it up.
Yeah, it was so, and we would put it up our nose, and because we were trying to be like Kiefer Sutherland in Bright Lights Big City, like we were doing drugs, we were cool. We should have paused the laundry.
And oop.
Okay. We're back. If you're just joining us, I'm doing laundry. My clothes are drying, and when the zipper goes in the outer rim of the laundry pile, in the metallic cylinder that is a dryer, it goes zhoo, zhoo.
Clunk, 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 clunk.
Yeah, nonstop. And I heard it. It was on another pod, a recent pod, and it drove me nuts. It drove me mental.
So sorry for the first 10 minutes there.
You know what got me through it? The Banaka up my nose. But we did Banaka up our nose. Did it make us high? No. But it was just this burning sensation. And when you're 8, 9, 10, that's high, I guess, or that's something. It's like a rite of passage, like putting your tongue on a battery or microwaving silverware.
I only remember like sniffing those scented markers that smelled like fruits.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those were good, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Strawberry, the grape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss those.
Yeah. Well, the same thing. It was like we're getting high when really you're not. You're just. I guess that's high.
It's a sensation.
Relatively speaking.
It's something.
Yeah.
It's some escape from this banal existence in 4th grade.
Yes, exactly. So Lennox broke his wrist, and the beginning of the tale happens about a week and a half before he broke his wrist. So he was over at his friend Lincoln's house, and he went over there on his bike, and for some reason he didn't have his helmet. His parents let him ride a bike without his helmet. I'm calling CPS right now, honey. But he didn't. He rode his bike over there. He didn't have his helmet. Okay, sorry. We're not perfect. But so I was like, well, I'll drive over there with his helmet. And so Lincoln's house is super close. So I drove over there, and I ring the doorbell, and Lennox comes to the door, and he kind of looks around, and he goes, which is his noise of disgust, or just that's his
any negative emotion.
Yes, yeah. And I didn't understand at first, and I looked around. I was like, "Oh, was your bike out here?" And he goes, "Yeah." So his bike got stolen from right in front of Lincoln's house, and so I didn't know whether to text you right away, or have him tell you in person. And so he gathers his stuff, and I was like, we're going home right now because I don't want to come back over here. You don't have a bike, and it's almost time for you to go home anyway. So he gathers his stuff, and he's like, "Did you tell Mom?" And I said, "That's up to you. Like, I can tell her right now, and she can be a boiling cauldron by the time we get home and lash out at you, or you can tell her yourself. It's your choice. Choose your own adventure, Lennox." And he didn't choose. So I was like, "Just tell your mom," because when it hit me, I was like, "Okay." I shrugged my shoulders, like, I can't. And he's had this bike for a little over a year, 14-ish months. So, but it didn't surprise me. I mean, he gets in the moment. He gets reckless and careless, and things just fly by the wayside to him because he's a kid. He was 10 at this time. He's now 11. It didn't bother me. I was like, all right, well, that was bound to happen. Not a surprise. So we came home, and we both come upstairs, and I said, "Honey, Lennox has something to tell you." And Lennox points to me and he goes, "You tell her." I was like, all right. Bike is gone. How did you feel, honey? Were you like me? It was just inevitable?
No, I had more hope than you. So I was pretty distraught.
Yeah.
I wasn't angry at him or anything.
Right.
But it just sucks.
Yeah.
Because he rides it all the time.
Yeah.
That's his mode of transportation.
It's freedom to him.
Yeah.
Like, he was on there pretty much every weekday afternoon, sometimes all weekend long, going to people's houses. Just, he liked to go out by himself. Yeah. And he would run into hijinks would ensue, like a TV sitcom or whatever. But it meant a lot to him. So bike's gone. So he's like, and his friend Dominic Corsi and Lincoln Wynn both have electric scooters. And so did he formulate this plot to get his bike ripped off so he could get an electric scooter? So he was like, "I want an electric scooter." We're like, okay. And Lincoln's electric scooter goes max speed 12 miles per hour. Dominic's goes 16 miles per hour. So you wanted somewhere in the middle. You didn't want 16.
I wanted like 12 miles an hour, but yeah. I relented.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, we'll do an average. So
yeah.
We went in the middle. Well, we went to 15 miles an hour.
15.5 to be exact.
Oh my gosh.
But we did a thing. Like, I remember doing this as a kid where if I wanted something, my mom would be like, pay half. Because then you have skin in the game and you got to work towards it. And that's what we did with him. We're like, you pay half. So I went on Amazon. I bought a Go Trax with an X. It was about $375. He paid half. You paid the other half. That thing is super fun, dude. Like, I just rode around here. I was like, wow, this is so cool.
We all went outside. Yeah. Even Luna was zooming around on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all had fun on that thing.
It's super fun, but on the other hand, like, when you're going fast, it's like, oh, this could be bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine something like that when I was a kid. That'd be so fun. Although, probably I would have broke my.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure injuries are up because of this.
Oh yeah.
So he became enamored with this. He was out all the time, more than the bike. And it has a battery. You have to charge it. He was so good about charging. Like, he never charges his phone. He always forgets to charge his Chromebook. They're always dying. They're always on 1%. Who knows what? It's bedlam. But he always made sure when he got home to charge his scooter because that's how much it meant to him. So whenever I would, like, be in the garage, coming home, leaving, and the green light was on and the little battery, I was like, oh, yeah, Lennox is being very, very smart about this. And then another thing was that we were like, if this gets stolen, you're on your own, dude, because we can't buy you a bike or electric scooter every year.
Yeah. So we bought him a lock for the scooter.
Yes.
And he only had it for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
But really good about locking it up. Really does not want this thing to get stolen, he's very responsible about it.
Yeah.
Partially because he loves it, and then also because he himself put money towards it.
Yeah. And side note, in the week and a half between him getting this and him breaking his wrist, Lincoln's scooter was stolen.
Oh, yeah.
In front of Target, I believe. So it was a weekend. We were throwing our caution in the wind. No, we were just hanging out at home, and he texted you, or did he call?
He texted. It was getting close to the time he was due home.
Right.
I got a text. Can you come get me? I got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. And he gave us the street name, but I brought him up on Google Maps right away, so we pinpointed him. We drove over there. There was about 6 kids, and they were being kids. They were frolicking about, but he was on the grass on some random. He doesn't even know who that house.
No,
or that woman who took care of him. Some mom.
There's a mom out front. I think they were having a yard sale.
Yeah,
a bunch of kids kicking a ball around in the street. He knew 2 or 3 of the kids there, but he didn't know the person whose house he was hanging out at.
I remember
where he got injured.
I remember being young. Some people you knew, some people you didn't, but you played. But so what had happened was he was on his scooter, and then a ball, bounced in front of him.
A ball bounced in front of him.
Yeah.
So he got knocked down.
Yeah.
He said he did like a cartwheel. Did a roll on the asphalt.
Yeah. And that nice woman kind of stitched him up or...
Actually, the kids did that.
Oh.
The kids really, they did a great job. His wrist was all wrapped up. Like it looked very good. Like maybe they'd had a first aid training or something.
Yeah.
He had tons of scratches all over his legs and his hands, and everything was all bandaged up.
Yeah.
And he wrapped up, and they had an ice pack.
Yeah.
He said the mom didn't help at all. But I don't even know like if she was out at the time. But the kids I was really impressed that they helped him out so well.
Dr. Veer Patel. Since he got the scooter, his leg injuries and bandages and gaping wounds and thrashes and scabs. It was just nonstop. Every day he would come home with a new opening.
Pretty bad cuts and stuff on his legs, but nothing to this degree.
Right. But yeah, the injury factor quotient went up immediately when he got this dumb scooter, to where now he like constantly has bandages on. You're constantly doing triage on him, honey. You're the nurse. So initially when we got him, we were like, oh, he sprained his wrist. And we said that knowing nothing.
I said that with hope.
Yeah.
Because there was no blood. There's nothing protruding.
Yeah.
From his wrist, as far as I could tell, looked normal.
Yeah. And
he was like shaking. He wasn't crying or anything, but he was like very shaken up by this. Mm-hmm. It was kind of scary when we first got him because I wasn't quite sure how bad his injuries were.
Right.
And he had quite a few Band-Aids, and I was like, oh, he's very cut up. So we brought him home, immediately put ice on it, and gave him some Tylenol and just had him lay down. Yeah. And that night, I found like a cloth, like wrist wrap in our first aid kit. Right. So I took the tape. It was just tape that the kids had wrapped him up in. Yeah. The first aid kit in the popcorn bucket that we have. That's where we keep our first aid kit. Cupboard, yeah. So I unwrapped it. It looked okay. Yeah. But he just kept ice on it. And we Googled, actually. We're like, what do you do when you sprain your wrist? Right. So I was really hopeful that it was like, okay, the next day he'll be back. He'll bounce back, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, I was thinking mild sprain based on nothing.
Yeah,
but and I was like, oh, it'll take a couple days to heal. A couple days passed, and it wasn't getting any better. So you did a teledoc, right?
Yeah. Phone appointment with the doctor. I explained what happened. She said, okay, come in for x-rays.
Yeah.
Went in. They did x-rays. Lo and behold, he has a pretty bad fracture.
Yeah.
And I learned that day that a fracture and a break are the same thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then they told you, okay, you got to get to... So you were at the Kaiser on Morse, right?
Yes, I was in Sacramento.
And then they were like, you got to go to the ER in Roseville?
Yes.
Jeez.
So...
This day started you guys left at 9-ish, 9:15.
Yes.
And so you had to go to Morris Avenue, and then you had to go to Roseville. And there's a lot of waiting, right? Thanks, Joe Biden.
So much sitting around in a hard chair.
Yeah.
So we drove out. We got some McDonald's on the way. Drove up to Roseville, went to the emergency room, checked in. His phone is at 20%, and I'm like, we have a long day ahead of us. And I was like, his phone's gonna die. He's gonna be bored.
Yeah.
So much sitting, and the ER was packed.
Jeez.
Packed, crying babies, people coughing, a woman yelling at the triage nurse guy.
Yeah.
It was not pretty.
You guys came home and you were like, Lennox, get your clothes in the washer. Shower.
That's the other thing about sitting in the emergency room all day long. It just, as time went on, I just felt more and more like greasy.
Yeah.
And I just felt like we were both covered in germs and
nasty,
just food particles and just who knows what.
And you said like they would take you to a room, you would wait, you would be seen by someone, and then they would take you somewhere else where you would sit for another hour, and then you would be seen by someone for a couple minutes, told to go over here.
Yeah.
And then you wait. It's just...
So you get your hopes up because they call his name and they're like, oh, that was quick. So you go over, they take blood pressure, they ask you all these questions. Yeah. Okay, have a seat. You'll be called again. Okay, so we go sit for 2 hours. They call his name. I'm like, finally, we go back to a bed. The actual doctor comes in and evaluates him. Yeah. I think things are moving. Okay, we're going to be home by a certain time. Right. Okay, go back. We'll call you back in when we have another room available. Yeah. Or, I don't know what she said. So we go back to the lobby. Yeah. Another 4 hours go by. Yeah. Why do they do this to us? There has to be a better way to do this. There has to be a better way for medical care. There has to be a better way for dropping people off at the airport to where all these cars aren't near the curb, and then you're trapped there, and then there's more cars trying to get over, and you're trying to get out. There has to be a better way for everything. Yeah, you guys left a little after 9 a.m. You got home around 4:30 p.m., 4:45. It was an all-day sojourn. Have you ever broken your wrist or arm or anything, honey? No. I think I've had a couple very minor sprains. I've never broken anything. I have, when I was in 3rd grade, we lived in an apartment complex, and there were 25 kids who would get together every day, and we would just go nuts. We'd play, and it was lots of fun and rambunctious. So I'm 8 years old or so, and for whatever reason, a 13-year-old boy, he started launching us from the bottom of his feet. So he would lay down on his back, kind of like the leg machine where you the leg press where you sit against your back and you push your legs. And he was 13, so he was bigger than us, and we were lighter, so he could shoot us off in the air. So we started doing this for whatever reason because we're dumb kids, and I had a couple rounds, and it's a good time, it's fun. But one time I sit on his soles, the bottom of his feet, and he's on his back, and he launches me, and I just fall poorly. I can't remember. I was a young man, but I broke my wrist. I fractured my wrist. That sounds so fun. It was. Flying through the air. It was until someone lost an eye, honey. But I had a cast.
for several weeks. And I remember when they took it off and there's all this dead skin. You had to wash it off. But
so gross.
Yeah. But, well, that's the other thing. Getting your bike stolen, breaking your wrist. I don't trip on that stuff. It's like, okay.
It's all part of
growing
this
up.
thing called life.
It's part of being a kid. It's part of being a young boy.
And oop.
So Lennox got a cast. He's currently in a cast. But they didn't give him, because of the break, they couldn't give him a waterproof one.
Yes, I don't know why. I don't understand, but they said it wasn't possible with the type of whatever they had to do to it, whatever kind of wrapping they had to put on it.
So now the boy... describe the shower preparation for Lennox Garcia.
Well, showers are down to once a week.
Right. We're trying to get it up to twice a week.
So I take a garbage bag, like a big garbage bag, and just cover his entire arm. It goes almost all the way up to his armpit.
Yeah.
Wrap it with a rubber band. Wrap it again with some duct tape.
It's quite the sight.
And then he attempts to wash his body with just his left hand. And he broke his right wrist. He's right-handed.
Yeah.
So everything he has to do is very difficult.
Homework is hard. He currently has homework that he needs to color. Just cutting things he's got to do for homework. You're helping him out with that.
Yeah, and of course he has some accommodations at school.
Right.
But there is still some stuff he's attempting to do. Yeah. And he's struggling.
Yeah. Well, the other day he came home and he said he played Foursquare. And we were like, dude, chill out. Like, calm down. Stop playing Foursquare. Let this thing heal. Another thing is he's very proud. He's a very proud young man. But he won't let you help him brush his teeth, right?
Yeah. The very first morning after he had the cast on, I was really worried about getting him ready for school and getting him to school. He has to carry his backpack, just every little thing. Yeah. I thought he was going to have a really hard time, but he wouldn't let me help him. So he's brushing his teeth with his left hand. He's doing it all on his own. Yeah. He's very independent.
Yeah. It's amazing, like, watching him because his good hand, even pouring water, it becomes a task. Opening the refrigerator, closing the ketchup bottle. Everything's a gargantuan Herculean feat. And but he's got like 5 weeks left, right? It was 6 total.
We're 1 week down, 5 weeks to go.
And in the middle, they're going to cut part of it off, right?
Yes, we're actually going back in 2 weeks. Because right now, like I said, it almost goes nearly to his armpit. Yeah. So they're going to cut it. They're going to cut it down so it's like a few inches below his elbow. So he'll have more mobility, and it'll be a little bit better for the last few weeks.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So yeah, he's doing his thing. One benefit is that he's always home now.
He can leave, but he's reluctant to leave when he has to walk everywhere. Right. Because it takes him so much longer. It's a lot more effort. Right. So if he doesn't have a bike or a scooter, he's like, I don't want to go. Right.
But I prefer both the kids to be home all the time.
Yeah, I like it.
Safe and sound.
Before this, he was gone. Constantly. Yeah. Every day after school. Every weekend. Yeah. And we missed our baby.
Yeah. And it was always a back and forth of come home at this time. And that time would be 5 p.m. And it would be 5:15. And he's like, I'm on my way. And it's like, it's going to go back to that in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. As soon as that cast is off, he'll be out the door again. Yeah. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Luna chastised us for buying such a dangerous product. She's like, I can't believe you guys bought him such a fast scooter.
She said, you need to take that away. You know, I kind of agree with her. I don't know.
You know what? It's like the sour spray, dude. Tons of buyers' regret. Remorse.
Should we tell him? He's not going to listen to this, but should we say you can only go 10 miles an hour? You can't exceed the speed limit. But
I mean, if you want him to lie to you, honey, or obscure the truth. So Luna blames us. I blame Jeff Bezos for inventing a website where you could have a scooter at your front door the next day, which we did, which is what happened. But it was super easy to put together. But yeah, so we got 5 weeks of cast. It's kind of cool to see him go through struggles or just face obstacles, and he's persevering. He's fine.
This is very character building.
Yes, exactly. Alrighty, well, are we done, honey?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're done. Thank you for listening. Alrighty, well, that's the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, and rate, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're a grown-up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your left wrist. Please be sure to use our promo code for BetterHelp. We don't have a promo code for BetterHelp. Goodbye, my parasocial podcast friends. I love you. My wife and I love you. We hope you have a good day today and tomorrow. And sure, I may have bought 12 bottles of WarHeads Sour Spray in an effort to satisfy my darling son. But I'm still a good person. I don't know what I'm going to do with those 9 bottles.
Next time you want him to do something. You got some negotiation.
There's 3 more?
Yeah.
It'll be like the carrot and the stick. I'll give you this. Tit for tat. No. Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. Okay. Well, that's the end. Au revoir.